first off, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
As well as writing and producing and starring. Triple threat in this one.
Triple threat. You're the second person that said that. I quite like that. Triple threat.
So I wanted to begin just by asking kind of the genesis of the project and when it began and why this was one that you wanted to kind of co-write and produce and kind of see it from the ground up.
It was 2009. Anthony had this idea in his head for a while about a blind musician hearing a murder above her. It was all the films that we watched as a couple that we really loved. It was Hitchcock, it was Marnie, Rear Window, it was film noir, Leave Her to Heaven. And then it was, also the 70s thrillers that we enjoyed watching. It was The Conversation, it was Clute. So this is all the kind of film that we enjoyed watching as a couple. And he'd had this genesis of this idea for like a couple of years, I think. And he was looking for a co-writer and he'd come home frustrated that he hadn't gelled or clicked with the people he was talking to as he was trying to work out how to co-write it with. And I'd be sympathetic and I was going through my own frustrations at the time because none of the scripts that were landing in front of me I felt really were fully three-dimensional, fleshed out, sort of women with flaws and problems. I was frustrated myself. So it was, in fairness to Anthony, it was him who turned around to me and said, "Why don't you write this with me?" And I went, "Really?" And he went, "Yeah, you read enough scripts, you know enough about storytelling, let's do this." And it started there.
In terms of the characters you played, I mean, you played some complex characters before, but Sophia is very, very complex in this. But was there something, you talked about Hitchcock, was there particular characters from those movies that kind of drew you to
Yeah,
Sophia?
I mean, Tippi Hedren and Marnie, but they're also Jean Tierney and those black and white film noir movies like Laura and so forth. I mean, these are complex, three-dimensional, unorthodox women, and there is a heritage of that in cinema that got lost along the way. Invariably, those sort of anti-heroines always ended up punished at the end, which is maybe the difference between now in our modernity, how we're handling them. It's not one, I loved, and physically I loved Audrey Hepburn's performance in Wait Until Dark, which was obviously a reference for us when we were, pitching In Darkness. But it doesn't mean to, hopefully we're not just derivative. It's meant to be a love letter to those movies. And also as a Londoner, I wanted to see my hometown on screen in a way that felt real and true to me, because it's very easy for London to be sort of like candy box, London, and also not just like council estate London, the projects. It's like those have those place and they're great stories, but I just wanted to see like cosmopolitan, day-to-day real London in a slick psychological thriller as well.
Yeah. You talk about the characters that you said there, but you're going to play Vivien Leigh, if that's correct?
I'm in the process of developing a project, yeah.
I mean, is that a dream come true to play someone like that? Because she's had such an amazing career, and obviously, the movies that she's made and everything else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been a little bit obsessed with Vivien Leigh for a long time. I mean, it's not something that just happens overnight. The gestation, I've been developing that already for over a couple of years, and she's a fascinating human being because, the thing about Viv is her genius, the flip side of her genius was very much a darkness and, a bipolar condition that had profound depression and negativity, a negative impact on her life, as well as, giving her this incredible energy and charisma and raw talent. And I want to tell the story about Vivien Leigh, the individual, as opposed to just one half of a power couple. I want to give her day in court. So, yeah, it's zeitgeist to really... wouldn't it be lovely to sort of pay homage to these incredible women who have been fighting all the fights that we are now actively talking about, but those fights weren't able to be articulated back in the day.
Absolutely. And also, someone I met last year who, a very controversial character, but you've worked with Mel Gibson recently on a movie. How's that gone? Because I think that's coming out this year, and how is it working with him?
I am not privy to the ins and outs of when Professor and the Madman are coming out. It's beyond my pay grade. But
was it fun working with him? And also Sean Penn as well.
No, I mean, it was incredible to work with the likes of Sean Penn and Mel Gibson and Jennifer Ehle as well. Incredible British actress. It's actually... wait, pause. Is Jennifer Ehle British? Or is she American?
She's British, isn't she? She can just do a
That's
very
interesting. She can do a very good accent, whichever way it is round. But it's that was when you're on a set like that, you just shut up and you watch. When you're standing on set and you've got the director and another 2 directors in the shape of Sean Penn and Mel Gibson, then you're just quiet and you just watch.
Good for your career though. If you go into directing, that you've had
I've listened.
people to
Yeah,
listen to
you've
all that
you've
kind of
had
stuff.
a lot. You've had exposure. Yes.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a
Lovely
pleasure
to
talking
meet you.
Thank you so much.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!